Welcome to Unfiltered Discussions. You got Nash in the building.
You got Ash in the building.
And we have a special guest, the neighborhood wise man. And special shout out to my guy for making that happen. I love and appreciate you for that. Ash, you want to take the floor?
Oh yeah, for sure. So before we get into the topic, we want to do the biggest misconceptions that women have
When it comes
about
to men.
yes, when it comes to men. But before we get into all of that, could you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, why they call you the neighborhood wise man?
All right, so I was always like an old soul growing up. You know what I'm saying? I was always a leader. So, from that, it kind of like guided me to always people to seek information. And I was one of them people, even as a young kid, that people didn't know how to advise me because it always seemed like I was the one giving the advice, having the answers. So when I would need advice, people wouldn't know how to advise me because they say, hey, you gonna figure it out, and you know what I mean. So as time went on and me giving different advice and giving game and learning on the fly and being around my mom and her girlfriends and older guys and uncles, whatever, I think it developed me a little earlier than a lot of people was developed. So I actually got a topic that I kind of knew myself before people knew themselves.
Okay.
So I always been considered as one of them people that just was thought deeper than everybody else, whatever the case may be. And that which led to the things that I've been through in life, which led to me being kind of wise or being considered as a wise man at a fairly young but old enough age. You see what I'm saying? So my experiences, things that I've been through, being one who learned from my own experiences and other people's experiences as well, been through so much. I mean, I kind of can touch on almost anything except for homosexuality and like being like a rat or something, like getting on the stand with somebody. You know what I mean? Like I never did those things. So, but pretty much everything else, whether it's being a kid, whether it's being raised by this or having older women at a young adolescent, this, that, whatever it is, street stuff, guns, drugs, jail, whatever. I mean, my range is from everywhere on all walks of life. So I kind of became an understanding person because of it. So people can always talk to me about anything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like if person see me talking, they gonna say, "Oh, he always been a good dude," and you could always go to him. And sometimes, because of the success that I had in the streets, people would misunderstand that and think that I probably was like some flamboyant or bougie people that when they get to know me, they say, "Oh, this dude's nothing like that," and they enjoy talking to me. So because of that, I was one of them people that helped a lot of people, guided a lot of people, taught a lot of people. Even in my time in incarceration, I was the imam, which was the leader of the jail basically for 8 years.
Okay.
And I taught and did this with a lot of people. And I not only taught religious stuff, but talked about life stuff and talked about religious stuff. So now that I'm older, like one of the things I see that a lot of these young kids, and it's the simplest stuff, but a lot of them are not getting taught or they're not getting schooled with just basic fundamental principles, morals, and mannerisms. So me being from the neighborhood, I wanted people to know, look, I'm from the neighborhood too. I've been through or have been through or issues, anything you go through. So who can talk to you better about this stuff than somebody that you know and you can pull my coat or whatever, or you heard about my legend in the street, whatever, and you can say, damn, this dude know what he's talking about. And I feel like people feel like they can relate more to people they can trust who's actually been through the stuff that they've been through.
I can agree more. So my take is that you're the go-to guy.
Basically.
Yeah, so I can come to you, not me per se, but people in the neighborhood can come to you, and you can give them the advice that they're looking for, right? So with that being said, like, what do you feel like is the biggest misconception women have when it comes to men?
First I like to say that they think all men are alike. All men are alike. That's the biggest conception, because I think that when a person attracts the same type of individuals, even when they don't recognize it, they then start to label all men as being the same. So they get so caught up on that they can't get away from that perspective of men. So I think that perception, that is one. And also a man do like he make time for what he want. I also think that's a misconception that a lot of women feel like, oh, if this man ain't going above and beyond, or if he ain't doing this, or if he ain't doing that, then he don't like me, or he don't love me, or he don't want to be with me, because if he did, he would make time and do all this different stuff for me if that was the case.
Okay.
I mean, that's because they don't know nothing else outside of it, you know. And it's a shame to say, but you're right. Like, a lot of women attract the same individuals, and it's more so like, at the same time, the woman need to really take a look at herself and say, well, this is a pattern, and I'm attracting these certain people for a certain reason because you're a certain way, you know. So that is a big one, you know, because they don't know anything. Like, how would I know anything or have anybody around me to teach me that all men are not like this? You know, especially like in upbringings or whatever, and you see a lot of women that grow up with women that bash men.
Oh, God.
And they say the same thing over and over again, like, well, he ain't this, he ain't that. And some women look at men as disposable. Some women don't even respect men. They deal with a man, but they don't respect the man.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. I just feel like, you know, when you constantly find yourself, you know, come to the same, and I gotta call it like a roadblock, right? Even in relationships, it's more so like, it's a lesson in it. Like, we don't really think it's a lesson in our relationships, but it's really like a lesson in them. And we tend to deal with the same people because that's what we used to. But if you don't have anything else to compare it to, then you're going to keep going back to what you know, right? So once you know, grow more as an individual and know, you know, that, hey, this is what I want. But even though I didn't know how to go get it, but now I know what it looks like and what I want to receive, then I start dealing with different type of people, right? We often want, like, and not to say every woman wants men that's like, you know, street guys or, you know, the corporate world or nothing like that. But sometimes we want two different type of guys mixed in one, right? And most women don't know how to go about that, right? So they keep going on the same path, trying to get this type of guy out, this type of guy, and it's never going to equal out to what you're looking for when it's all said and done, right? So I just feel like, as a woman, you got to really know who you are, what you want, and what you're looking for in an individual. And just because you might stumble across a guy that might be the total opposite of what you thought you wanted, some people can be teachable. You know, if you really like love somebody and into somebody, you're gonna learn their love language when it's all said and done, right? So you have to really, you know, put that work in. If you're gonna put that work in with somebody, and they're willing to accept, they gotta be willing to accept it from you. And then y'all can, you know, make it work for y'all. But I think that you might, you know, he's right about that. A lot of women really feel like men are all the same. I mean, I don't feel like that, but I'm just saying a lot of women feel like that.
But a lot of women look at potential, and they take potential and they run with the potential.
And that's what it's misconception.
And they feel like they can continue to try to build a man, like continue to build a man. It's one thing building, you know, your significant other learning and growing as a whole together as a unit, but for you to have to start from scratch and trying to build somebody up and not realizing that this person y'all really don't have nothing in common to begin with, but you're forcing it and you're trying to make this man somebody that he's not going to be.
But that's not a woman's job, though. You understand what I'm saying? It's important to meet somebody where they at. You know, and a lot of people don't know what that means. It's like, nobody has it all together. Some people got it more together than others, but if you really meeting somebody where they at and really looking like at what's in front of you, you know what I mean? Like, everybody make up like these fairy tales in their head, like, oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. They plan ahead before it even you know, transpired. And it's like, you set yourself up for that. You know, you want all these things from somebody, and if somebody is sitting here giving you all the ingredients, how the hell is you adding other stuff in it that's not even there? They sit here telling you, you know, their background, and they tell me, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know how to be loved. You know what I mean? Like, I never seen my mom being loved on, you know, hypothetically speaking, or my father was never around. I don't know how to treat a woman. If they willing to tell you and be transparent in that way and open up to you, accept what they're saying. Stop making up your own, you know, scenarios or what you think that they are saying, what you want them to say. But, you know, you heard our little take, so what you think?
No, I think what was important, I like to listen and gather the train of thought. You know what I mean? Being a fly on the wall, whatever. But no, I feel like the one thing you said that was important was that women have to be able to teach her men. But one of my problems with certain things, right? I feel like you said a lot of good stuff, like even meeting the person where they at. I feel like when the person come into something, with the, like you said, with the imaginary vision and what they think a dude should be, or trying to compare this new dude that they meet to Tom, Dick, and Harry, or whatever the case may be, and then he don't meet them criteria, then she's going far to the left. Like sometimes, like guys are different in this way. Like some dudes are Ronnie Romance. Like some dudes just naturally good with whining and dining women, whether they love them or not. It's easy to them. It don't even really mean nothing to them. Some dudes have to learn it. And some dudes learn from other people. They see it, well, I'm going to do what he doing. That look like it's decent. And some dudes, not even if, whether they mom and dad was together, whether they seen it or not, they just don't have it in their nature. And this is probably one of the easy but hardest ones to deal with, because you have to get this man to recognize the good and the stuff that he do for you. And a lot of times when the man don't do particular things or don't have particular characteristics, women may take it personal. Oh, he must don't like me like that. Oh, he did. Oh. But sometimes you got to be willing to be patient enough with the guy, because at the end of the day, right? And a lot of, like what I'm starting to see now, I think there's a new transition, and we ain't got enough. I don't want to go far left, but women are not willing. They fighting for so much equality with a man that they're not even willing no more to be a soft woman for a man. Like when you gotta deal with the drama and debate and everything, let your man be a leader. You can teach your man how to love you, at the same time play the sidelines and let him be the leader. But it's getting to a point where the woman want to be, we equal, we neck and neck. No, it's not about equality and finances or stuff like that, or, oh, I'm a man, I'm better than you. No, and I think this where the perception is going at, or if you let your man be the leader, or you taking a back seat to him like he better. No, you got equal. It's not about that. It's about letting a man be the nature of a man and a woman be the nature of a woman. And I think when you able to allow that to happen, and you can teach him better, and he's willing to learn because he know, oh, my baby is my side, my queen, king, queen. Let your king be the king. Don't be the king with the queen with a king hat on. And I feel like that's where a lot of friction coming at. And now the guy don't really want to learn from you. And his attention span is going left because it's becoming too hard for him. Like, oh, I gotta deal with this. If y'all don't mind, I got a friend who in a relationship, and this dude is a good dude. Like I'm talking about, I'm a dude saying this dude's a good dude. Like he be doing his thing. Like, you know what I mean? He do his thing, and she be like, yeah, what? But I sometimes I gotta bring her back down to earth. Okay. That's my friend. I'm gonna keep it a bean. Like, let me ask you something. You want this dude to jump out of 747 with a parachute on, saying, I love you, you know what I mean, all this extra stuff, but what are you willing to do for him? And I seen the post yesterday where this girl said, oh, we women, we not supposed to lift a finger. And I think this is where people starting to go far left. Like, no, it's a team thing. You building a unit when you deal with somebody. So you have to cater to him as well as you want him to caretake for you. Absolutely. And it gotta be like equal. And I think when guys start seeing that, when you realize, I'm doing way more for her, she ain't even willing to. Why I gotta ask you to cook? Why I gotta ask you to do this? Why I gotta ask you? Why I gotta ask you when you don't have to ask me for nothing? So like, it go both ways in the teaching. I'm gonna leave,
I like that you said that, because it kind of puts me in the mindset of like, a lot of women feel like they got to be in competition with their man, and it don't make sense. But a lot of women look at feeling like I said before, that because they feel like if they let a man lead, they feel like they're weak, and a lot of women look at it like that in a sense. So one of the biggest misconceptions based off of what you're saying is a lot of women feel like men are intimidated by them. And that be a big one as well, and that's not really the case, it's not.
Yeah, my thing is this, right? I feel like a lot of women, you got to really take it back to the basis, right? Of how you were raised, right? If you're raised in a household where is no man present, and all you see is your mom go get it, then you think that the woman is superior to the man, right? Because that's what she was raised up in. Okay, so because it's different dynamics to all of this, but then when you do have the opportunity to see, a man, being a leader and you know, taking care of things in the home, and a woman cooking, making sure the kids the home is clean, the clothes is clean, the dinner is on the table. You know what I mean? Oh, honey, how was your day? You know, tell me what you got going on. You know, because I really want to know what your day was like, right? But if you're not presented with that, it's kind of hard to tell a woman, especially sometimes men don't give the woman the opportunity to be a woman. Mm-hmm. And you know, I even stated this on a few podcasts back. You know what I mean? A lot of times women gotta wear the pants. I don't want to wear no daggone pants. You know what I mean? Like, I want to wear my shoes and be, you know, feminine to the best of my ability.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Now, I don't have no issue with, you know, stepping in. Do I know how to run stuff all day long? But I don't want to have to do that. Only in my position, I want to do that.
I believe, like, that position right there, like, because I see that with a lot of newer men, and I feel like some men are starting to adapt that, like, adopt it. You know what I mean? Like, whereas though guys, and let me go left a little bit. I think the guys who, the way the world was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, where everything was live. What I mean by that, people outside want to step, girls want to step, everybody riding around, where everything was more live. Now everything is on a gadget, right? So when things was more live, I feel like people, it was like more, it was more to life. Like, you felt better. Absolutely. You felt like you could be. You saw more, and you was able to, like, adjust to what you saw better. And once that got like wiped away, and the game kind of slowed down, so all the people who was chasing that street life, that wasn't educated and didn't know how to recover and get jobs and do stuff, the women stepped up, right? Because they always mainly work. And I feel like in that moment, during the recession, a lot of people told me, right, when they start saying different stuff, when a lot of street guys start really felling because they didn't know nothing else, and the game dried up. Women had to step up. And I do feel like, because women, for let's say the last 10 years, it's been hard, more women been taking care of men. And more men now today is willing to allow a woman to take care of them. Like, a man and a woman out, you can't pay, it could be me and y'all friends. Y'all can't pay for no food, not because y'all can't.
Yeah, no, I know
but
what
I don't
you
respect
mean.
the women. I'm saying, I got this.
As your position,
you know what I'm saying? That's my position as a man. Like, I'm gonna try to take care of my people, my women, my sisters, the women is my job as a man. And I think when men lost that is when a lot of us lost the women. So now we got women who, for the last, let's just say, for none of this is literal. So let's just say for the last 10 years, we got most women been holding it down without men. And now when you get a good man that come in, you don't know how to relinquish power to him, because you like, man, I've been holding it. Forget the mom, forget the upbringing, because that go both ways. There's people who might didn't have this, didn't see it, but they the best of this, and people who didn't have it or had it, and then, it go both ways. But I feel like over the last decade, where women been like stepping up along with the whole women movement and feminine, all this extra stuff that's hyping it up 10 times, 1,000 times higher. Now when a good man come in and he can do the job, is a friction, because she don't know how to relinquish and take the step back and say, you know what? Let my man be the man and guide me, and let me believe in his leadership. But it's not all your fault, because y'all been getting let down, because a lot of these men been allowing y'all to step up, and they've been bumming off y'all. Like, I hate it. I can't believe that this going on.
Ain't having that.
I don't know that, and I don't like that. You know what I mean? But because I'm all about looking out for, if you do me, if you look out for me, I look out for you. It opens up that.
And it goes without saying.
You know what I mean? Because if I'm good, you're good. If I'm leveling up, you leveling up. If you my guy, right?
Right.
And I just feel like that's how it's supposed to go. But it's just sad, because I don't understand how, women will deal with a man, and it's like, girl, are you speaking life into this man? If you don't get out there, I don't give a damn what kind of job you get. You better go out there and get something. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I think the women like that power piece. It's like, that's like taking care of your kid. I don't want to take care of, and then only thing different outside of you not being my kid is what, in the bedroom or something like that? Hell to no. I'm not doing it. And then another thing, it's one thing, and that's where people got to separate the two. It's one thing if your significant other fall on hard times. Yeah, absolutely, you step up. But that's why, as a woman, you got to be able to hold it down on your own, on that piece.
No doubt.
Because if he fall, what you gonna do? And that's what a lot of women, when men was out in the streets getting it in the drug game, y'all sit around reaping the benefits of the bags, the shoes, the trips, the this. But what was you doing in the meantime?
Look
right?
around and don't know anything.
Nothing in the saved up. Nothing. You didn't go get a trade. You didn't. I wish I could have got my college education if I had somebody in the streets that was willing to pay for it, and all I had to do was get my studies in order. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I would have had business. Is you crazy? But a lot of women in that time didn't do anything with that money.
They was looking at it
You know what I
for
mean?
what it was right then and
Right
there.
there was like a free ride. Like you know, I always say, I'm like, damn, like.
And it's funny that you say that.
Also, the opportunities wasn't the same. Like I feel like a lot of people get caught up on looking at how things so easy now and be like, well, back in the day we should have, but it wasn't this easy back in the day.
But I'm saying like school was
not
always
saying
there,
that
right?
you right on. I'm not refuting what you said,
yeah.
but I'm saying that also to add to it is that the opportunities that even the young people, all like people didn't know about starting in businesses and LLCs, and it wasn't as easy to do all. You didn't have the networking. Yeah, that's the big good of social media. Opened up a different door. So people back then might have had the money, but you couldn't put nothing in your name. You didn't know how to do nothing. You was young most of the time. You didn't have no credit. You didn't have a bank account, and you didn't have to have ID. You didn't have to have a bank account. It wasn't a debit card. So when people compare the two times, it's almost like it's unfair in the sense of not saying what you say. You right, because a person could have always got somebody to go to school, get a hair salon, whatever. It was stuff to do. Yeah. It wasn't like it wasn't nothing they could have did. So I'm not saying that, but the times change and does play a bigger part now because the opportunities of now, like how I feel now. If you in the game, you kind of like an idiot because it's all telling. It's the money is really empty and. Like you stuck in something that's you're a dinosaur because there's so many legal opportunities out there. You just got to use your mind and you can figure something out.
But use the same hustle that you had in the streets into legal.
A good energy.
That's it.
You a business person.
You can never lose.
Right. So.
What you about to say? Yeah, my
bad. But it's funny that you say that because you got people that do have the opportunities around them, but it's just the mentality and the mindset. Because even down to welfare. And people sit around, you getting free CCIS, you getting all these free things, but you're not reaping the benefits to come up
you're not capitalizing on
no, you know what I'm saying? But people mindsets be totally like different. It's like crazy or whatever. But as far as like women and the man leading and all that kind of stuff, a lot of women is okay with that. And some women is okay with really taking care of a man, like you said, with the control thing. It's a power thing. It's a thing to where they want to sit here and they can be able to micromanage their man in a sense. And it's crazy as it's saying, you got some women that want to micromanage because they want to micromanage whether they man cheating or whether they man doing this or whether they man doing that.
Yeah, that's insecurity and
that goes to look at the woman. Something is wrong with the woman when they got to sit there and do that. And they rather be that way instead of really looking at the bigger picture and really, like you said, speaking life into their man and really saying, listen, can you do this? Because if I fall short, what's going to happen? We both going to fail.
Yeah, we all got to be doing something. I'm sorry.
So is women more controlling than men? As far as like, y'all slick though. Because I feel like in the beginning, we might got the heads up. Cause y'all, I tell people, women always choose. No matter how cute we think we is, no matter how good the sex we think, but no matter what we do, women always choose. Even when they dumb drunk for a dude, it's because they choose to put their heart there. So even a pimp, when he got chicks running around from, they choose that pimp to bring their money back. Women always choose. So I feel like at the end of the day, we might got the flavor in the beginning, but it's all for y'all to try to dictate behind the scenes in the end. It's just the history of women, in my opinion. So I feel like y'all more
right
stick
about
on the
that
control.
Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna do what nobody don't want to do it. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's always to my discretion. And this is the thing though. Women might get, like you said, y'all come in, you do your wine and dine, you put your little eggs and whatever y'all do, right? But it on some real talk, it's like, but this is the thing, and this is what a lot of men need to understand. Like, once y'all, women sometimes, we come and we love y'all, like not love y'all eventually, because I don't love everybody, but I'm just saying, like, we really deal with y'all, like, we like y'all, you know what I mean? Like, we really gonna, deal with y'all on a level that y'all supposed to be dealt on. It's up to y'all. Once y'all start, tainting that, that's where it shapes it how I'm gonna deal with you at the end of the day. Cause
But the tainting come from this though.
What?
I think that, depending upon how you meet, right? Because this the harsh reality of another misconception is that once you, and even relationships, once you meet a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the front layer going out, oh, look, she attractive, whatever. You go out, down and down. Y'all might have sex. It's cool. The first couple times, y'all not really open like that, but y'all, it's cool though. It might still be kind of all right. But is when that's out the way, it's things that you might see in him or he might see in you that wasn't there, that he didn't see. And now those things is, can I deal with her crazy or his crazy or his weirdness or her weirdness, or let's say she's too neat for me, or she too messy for me, or she junky, or she this, and them things start to play a part. And now the person's sitting back like, she's snappy, man. Is it really worth it? Or you might say that he like this is really worth it.
Yeah, but that's the representative.
And now you're going to like, you really there because y'all done established a few things. Now you're like, man, I don't know about this.
Yeah, but this is why it's important for me to have the friendship piece, right? I have to be a friend first. Like, all the love stuff is all good. Of course, that's the ultimate goal. You know what I mean? But we have to be friends first. You know what I mean? Because I really want to know about you. Like, I ask a bunch of questions and stuff, like, and I observe. Like, I more so pay attention to what you're not telling me, right? Opposed to what you're saying out your mouth. You know, oftentimes people could talk all day, but their actions not matching up to what they're saying. So you really have to sit back and, you know, dig into who you're dealing with. You know, and that to me is extremely important. Stop rushing all over the place. Like, everybody like so into the rush. You know, so many people, you know, wants to rush into marriage, rush into relationships, rush into, I mean, it's like, damn, calm down. Like, because you didn't get, like you said, you don't even know this person for real.
Absolutely.
Get to know him. You gotta see a person mad. You know what I mean? See him in certain positions and you're like, oh, damn, hold on, this motherfucker crazy. Like, or I don't like how he reacted to that. Or then you start seeing if it's a person petty. I can't stand a petty individual. You know what I mean? That right there is a turn on within itself. Or a selfish person. It's like, damn, like, what's up with you, right? So you gotta really, really go through different things with somebody to really see exactly who you're dealing with. And that's just what it is. And to go off of what you're saying, a lot of people is so in a rush, and it's like, how the hell you love that person? I know the feeling that you might feel like you love them, everything going right. Oh my God, girl, yes, the last night was all like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, we in the cupcake phase, right? Like, everything is good, and that's cool to have fun. You know what I mean? It's cool to, you know, connect and do your thing, but if you reach a certain age, like, all of that go out the window. I feel like we had our teens and our early 20s for all of that. Everybody on this couch 30 plus, right? Yeah. Exactly. So nah, like, at this age, if we ain't building, and it gotta be beyond like the physical, gotta be beyond all of that at this stage in my life. I mean, for me personally, because when it's all said and done, can I really like open a business with you? You know what I mean? Like, can I coexist with you for real? You know, outside of everything else. And for me, I don't need the things that money can buy. You know, and of course, the man gotta get his own stuff. But what I'm saying is that the stuff that I need don't cost money. Like, the support that I need from you, you know, you gotta show up for me. You know, like, cause I'm gonna do my thing. That's all I know how to do, right? But support whatever I got going on. You know what I mean? Have that conversation with me. Be my friend. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that is so important to me.
And like for me, it's mental. Because how can I really know anything about you if we're really focusing on physical? You know, and especially when it's down to materialistic things, it's like, okay, what is that really, how am I really benefiting from an item that I can look at? Like, I need to really benefit from you as an individual and as a person at the end of the day. Like, I can't do nothing with that. How do I know that you're able to be able to listen to me when I'm in a bad mood and be able to cater to my emotional needs? Because you have a lot of men, you find out later on, that they're emotionally unavailable, they're dismissive to you, they don't understand your emotions, they're not able to comprehend, they hollering and hooting, but they're not really taking time to listen to understand instead of responding to what's happening. You know, somebody that really gets in tune with you and take time to really get to know you, your ins and out, what makes you tick, what makes you boom, you know what I'm saying? Because the physical part is easy. Absolutely. People can get around all day and say how they had sex with somebody, you know, so that's nothing. And so when you say rushing into marriage and stuff like that, people don't even know who they dealing with at the end of the day. And then they do that because society, they idolize these different, they idolize these different people that's up here, you know, famous or whatever. And you don't really know what these people going through behind closed doors at the end of the day. They could be going through all kinds of things, but for the internet, it's for show. They living in a fantasy, but you idolizing somebody, you have no clue of what they going through and what they dealing with at the end of the day. And that's my take on that.
I can dig that.
I do think you got to be able to. This is what I used to say, or I say to people. You got to look at a person and be able to say, can I see myself next to this person for 20 years? I always see 20 years down the line, maybe not for 20 years, then we break up, but like, can I really look at you every day? Because the mental, the personality, and the sexual attraction, you gotta have that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because if I ain't handling my business, you like, damn, he cool, he a good dude, he pay the bills today. He ain't hitting it right. You feel me? And if I feel like she just laying there like corny, like I'm like, damn, we can't or she smell, like now you might be like, nah, I'm cool, and it's just.
And that's the real
things that end up hurting.
Yes.
So I think you have to. And can I say this? All right, so let me know, because I won't say it, but I want to show you two different things, because y'all was talking about the marriage thing and me being Muslim, right?
Okay.
So I always try to teach people this. In Islam, the relationships start inward out. Okay. And in society, it start outward in. Do we have a few minutes for me to just touch on, elaborate these two things? All right, I'll start with society, right? Say me and you meet, like, you know, say I meet one of you guys and we talking and we having a good time going out, you know, whatever. You know, we end up dealing with each other. We know what the sex like. We know what our attitudes like. I cheat on you, cheat on me. We fight. We go through all this different. You know, mainly when you're younger. When you're older, you kind of got. When you start like getting your mid-30s and up, you get a little better. But I'm saying I'm going back a little bit to like more younger years. Okay. And this the stuff you develop with a person over them years. Y'all done been through pretty much everything. Yeah. Kids probably. Outside kid. Who knows? You know how it go. And then eventually you say, you know what? No matter what, we always come back to each other, and I think it's time for us to get married. And y'all both like, yeah, I done dealt with the bull crap with these other people. Our minds, you know, we love each other. So, and you end up getting married, but you marry, and then you got so much. You done been through so much with the family, whatever. I don't want to talk about the reasons or people like I gotta be married by I'm 30. I just want to talk about how a lot of times it come to that. You know what I mean? Some people love at first sight, see each other, boom, they get married. Yeah. Islamically, right, it starts inward out because you got rights. Okay. So the marriage, see, and this is what I tell people, like people take that title marriage and they just amplify it, like marriage is something super serious. You know what I mean? We married, like oh my God, you know what I mean? It's just serious, but in all actuality, it's just a contract or agreement. It's just the difference between a relationship. It just takes a relationship to another level. So bringing it from an Islamic standpoint, why I said inward out, because most of the time when you meet a person, you got rights because it's religious. So you got religious rights upon this person. So the woman have rights, the man have rights. They got 7 rights towards each other, right? Not to get too deep into that. So my point is, supposedly, if everybody doing what they supposed to do the right way, with rights, right? But then you build. After you marry, you build from there. You build love. You build closeness. You build relationship. But your marriage is permissible. It's halal. It's right. It's correct. And right. So you got the right. So it's certain things that you obligated to do as a man for your woman. So you ain't no cut card. Ain't no hold up. And you obligated to swoop in, be the leader, take care of her, make sure she good, lead her and her. If she got previous kids or if you have kids with her, lead her and be a leader to your family and hold it down. And her job is to cater to make sure her man is cool, make sure he got, if she don't want to work and they discuss that and that's how she feel, like, look, I want to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom, maybe do something that I can do from home, and he go out there and make sure y'all good. That's his obligation, that's his job. You understand? Likewise, if she does that, then she should be able to have things together for him, clean house, watch who she bringing in and out, some food on the table, not really much, but now I'm gonna spin out of this. So I just wanted to make a point that it start inward out, and you build with the title first instead of building up to the title. You start with the title and build from there. So it's almost like being a girlfriend and boyfriend with a contract. You understand? But when people hear the word marriage, they like, whoa, that's such a big thing. But in all relationships, right? You supposed to. And this is where I think people go wrong. You have to give a situation a chance. So if you come into a relationship, you meet a person, if you at the time cool enough for me to feel like I want to crack on you, or you crack on me, or whatever, and we have a good conversation and we vibing, then we have to understand as a people, especially men. Okay, now comes the work. Okay, you was cool. Okay, boom. Even if we had sex early, whatever, late or early, 90 days, 6 months, 1 day, 30 days, 2 weeks, whatever. The work comes after that, because y'all want to expect, like women want, like women want to be loved.
Absolutely.
Men want to be loved
Everybody want to be loved, right?
Yeah, men want it too, man. And I think that sometimes people think, because like you said, a man can't identify, just to wrap my part up, a man can't always identify how to be loved. Sometimes you gotta teach a man how to be loved. Oh, let me say this. Coming home from doing double-digit years in jail, right? I spent all my 20s and 30s in jail, basically, right? A lot of stuff I mentally been broke down, had to miss. I couldn't be in there. Like, some people be in there and they play the love game, right? A bunch of different girls, calling girls. They need women to get through their bid. But me, like me, I'm more of a militant that gotta cut all that off. You know what I mean? So when you cut that off and you gotta deal with men in tension all day, every day, and guards and this and that, you lose a little bit of that softness, and you lose a little bit of that how to love people. So you have to be retaught. So I'm using me as an example. Sometimes the streets do the same thing. When you running around chasing those streets and you so focused on that, you lose a little bit on how to be a lover. And you need a woman with extreme patience to be able to help break you down and build you back up with that love. But I ain't saying let a dude run over you just because he got a bad condition. I'm saying that if this dude is worthy of the, you know what I mean, the build up, then women should take more pride in building a man up. Say, man, my man been through everything because I was patient enough to help him relearn how to love. Instead of trying to force him to say, you might love me faster. Because let's say some women might say, well, I love you because the small stuff, and they might not just think, okay, this is what makes me love a man. But if you love me before I love you, then teach me how to get to where you at. And I think sometimes women not willing. Oh, you ain't saying you love me when I say it, it's over. I don't think something.
But it should be the opposite. You know men always rush and say, I love you, right?
Like, I don't know.
And that kind of be like, well, for me, it's like, well, hold on, slow down a little bit, because you gotta get me there first. Like, I'm not just automatically jumping to loving you. Like, I don't love you. You know what I mean? Calm down a little bit, slow up this thing. But no, I mean, really, because just because I feel like it's like I don't do no rushing in. Like I feel like, you know.
What make you feel like it's fake?
No, I don't know. I just feel like that's just like
him being fast, saying he like.
Like for like a couple days, a week, it's like that's too fast. That's like you just looking for anything at this point.
I know.
And I'm not digging it, right? And it's like,
doing that?
Yes.
I know from personal experience.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm speaking from personal experience. Yes,
I know from personal experience.
So I'm like, I'm not going to say because I don't feel like that. So I'm never going to pretend to say I love somebody that I don't love, because I take that serious, right? I would never. I love. It don't even sound right if it's not. I don't feel it. I can't. I don't feel it. I don't say it. But no, you made some valid points, and it's like that piece when you compare society to, how you do it in Islam, is like accountability.
Right.
It's more accountability there. It's like now you are, held accountable to do these things, opposed to in society, hopefully he's gonna do this. I hope he eventually marry me. I hope we. You know how many women put up with so much for a ring that they never going to get?
And it's sad.
And you know what I mean? And I be looking, I'm like, damn girl, like, it's not that damn deep, because by the time he done took you through the ringer, deep was still.
Was it really worth the title?
It's like, because it's not, a ring is not going to change an individual, and I'm sorry to say it, but a lot of people got that in their brain, like, once we get married, this is still the same motherfucker you wake up to for the last 5-10 years. The ring is not going to change who he is. You know what I mean? And I just feel like a lot of women lose their stuff, and men too, because it's not just one-sided, but mostly women, because a man has to choose to marry you, right?
Yes.
Because of course I would never ask a man to marry me. What the hell is that? But I'm just saying, like, a man chooses who.
So you more old school in regards to letting the
I
man ask.
That sounds like a bit, because again, like you said, women are more, willing, open, and ready, right? Most men is not like that, right? They really gotta dig you, feel you, go do something. You got to bring something up out of them that other women couldn't, or be there for him in a way another woman didn't. Right? Open his eyes and show him how to be real. The stuff that you were saying was spot on, and it's like a lot of women don't know how to do that, though, right? And once a man find that, you know, they're gonna gravitate towards that. And you be like, damn, well, he was with her for 10 years. How did he leave her and get with her for a couple months, a year, and he married her?
And that's how it is.
Because you're not her. She did something that you couldn't. And that don't make you less of a woman that you just didn't know.
It just wasn't what it was.
You didn't know what to do with him, right? And that's just that. But yeah, so it makes you more accountable at the end of the day. And it kind of, you kind of like described it kind of, and I was laughing in my head because it kind of sounded like an arranged marriage, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, I gotta at least get to know him a little bit or like him a little bit because I can't agree to that because it seems so final to me, like, oh my God.
And that's because the title amplified marriage.
It's too much. It's, oh my God, I'm here. And now it's like I'm stuck as you, like I said in previous episodes. You know, I've always been a runner. Like, if it don't suit me, I'm out. Like, especially when I put everything.
Cold blooded.
Like once you put it, because I'm big at crossing my T's and dotting my I's, right? Because I'm not a regret type of person. So it's like, oh wait a minute, I did all I can do. You know, and I'm trying to, and I've been looked and seen you for who you are. I'm trying to get the best up out of you, and I got to roll because you're not going to, you know, tear down who I am.
Self-worth,
you know, because I'm going to be good for the next man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
How important to you, and I don't have nobody to pour back into me. How is that working?
Exactly that point. I could have little self-disclosed. I was married, you know what I mean? And I got up out of that thing so fast, people would still look like you. Girl, I'm done.
They looking around shocked and confused.
I'm done, you know, because you're not going to spoil me. I know my worth, right? I know if I could do, like, my guy, yes. Now, you know what I mean? Like, that right there is for me. You got to know what's for you, right?
Exactly.
And like you said, no, everybody don't come with all the parts already. It's there, but you got to bring it up out of the individual, right? You know, get to see, you know, what this person got going on and what's for you, because again, you might not want the things I want, and I might not want the things you want as a woman. You know what I mean? Everybody got their own things that they require, right? And that's just what it is. Even down to men, it's like, I think it's really dope when I see a man do like truly love the woman that they with,
and it's
like
genuine.
it's like you see them in a different light. Like, oh, I love that. Like, I would never. You know, some people so jealous hearted, and they look at somebody else's relationship like, girl, get you your own damn man.
Because they miserable.
And see if somebody can love you like that. Because I love to see that. Like, to see a man soft side is like, dang. Yeah, it's like so
that's dope for the man, too.
Yeah, it's like, then look at him. Like, everybody, especially if he come from some, like, and out in the streets, did jail time, been in the game, and all he could do is be rough. Like, he got to be rough outside for everybody else. But once he come home to your,
and I've been seeing that on social media, like,
oh, I don't know him. Yeah,
but hold up.
What? I'm listening.
I gotta say this.
What?
Because the woman have to be open enough to allow that man to become soft. Because if the defense mechanism and the walls is too hard to break down, he's gonna go back to what he knows.
Exactly.
Okay, let me put my walls up, and now we not working.
But you got a lot of women that's very open and really have taken on a lot and really put in that work. And then after a while, it's like, okay, you're resistant, and I'm not tearing down anything. And after a while, like, you gotta go your separate ways. For me, I was engaged. And I didn't sit here and after a while it's like, no, I'm not going to lose myself on account of a ring or just because of a title. I want somebody to genuinely love me and care about me, not, oh, we've been through that, oh, I feel bad, let me go ahead and just throw her this, throw her, and that happens a lot of the time. Right. A lot of the times the damage is already done. What does that symbolize after somebody give you a symbol? Oh, since we've been through a lot, we've been together for 15 years. Oh, and now you throwing me a dog bone, the scratch. Like, you giving me like what? You giving no.
Okay, so my question to y'all is like, what's your deal breaker? Like, in a relationship, like, what is the deal breaker? See, I know a lot of people go through a lot of different things, but like, what's the deal breaker?
You first.
You gonna say you first. Then you gonna put me on the
spot.
Hold that. The deal breaker for me is a person that if you lack empathy, I can't do nothing with you. Mm-hmm. If you lack empathy, I can't do nothing with you. And that's just on that. Mm-hmm. Because you have a lot of people that will play upon how you are as an individual, and they play off of your empathy. Mm-hmm. And they use that to their advantage. And I would like somebody to really be able to understand me and comprehend and listen to me, and you know, and it's reciprocated. I want it to be a mutual thing.
Mm-hmm. That was deep. I think no, I just think now nothing is for nothing. At my age, I just feel like now that I've been through all that other stuff at a young age, a deal breaker for me is a person who we just can't connect. Like, I gotta be able to connect with you. And maybe I need to think more into this, because I never, like, because of the way it is for me being Islamically, I gotta start inward out. You know what I'm saying? I just think that if you're not willing to be a person who willing to grow and become better, you know, because maybe there's things in me that you can see and say, hey, you need to be better with that. So if a person, and I see things in you and you just stubborn in your way, I think if a person not willing to grow to become better, because we both gonna have to make sacrifices and changes in order to become a unit, because some people fit like this and some people gotta, you know, work it in, you know what I mean? So I think that a deal breaker for me is a stubborn person who don't have no type of good energy and joy for themselves to be happy with. Because don't nobody want no miserable person. That's what it is. You get miserable, boom, I'm done. Because all you're going to do is bring my energy down.
Yes.
So I guess that'll be what's a deal breaker for me, in my opinion.
Interesting. I don't know. For me, I think selfish. If you selfish, I can't deal with you. Like, honestly, because I'm a selfless person. Like, if I see good in you and I see, you know, and I guess you could say the potential piece, like, I'm going to try to get that about you anyway, anyhow, you know what I mean? I'm going to listen to, that's why I said the friendship piece is important. So, you know, your goals, like, what you're trying to do, like, because I always want to, there's always something else that I know you can do or want to do, right? And I know everybody don't want to be like the corporate person or the person with the business and the this and this. And I'm not saying that, but if you know, you got to be wanting to do something. So for me, you know, support is big to me. So if you're selfish, we're not going to work.
It's a deal breaker.
Yeah, we're not going to work because it's not about you all the time. This is an equal thing. That right there for me has to be reciprocated. This is not, because I'm a giver, right? And when two givers get together, shoo,
it's magic.
But that giver and taker, if I keep giving you, if you're taking from me, I ain't got nothing left to give. You know what I mean? So yeah, somebody that's selfless is extremely important to me, and if you're selfish, is definitely a deal breaker for me. It's off the table.
You said earlier, right, which I thought was important and good for a man that's on man time. Okay. Because you got men that's on boys time, and you got men that's on men time. And one thing you said that was good is that, and just reiterate from a man's perspective, because this is what we want. Like, if I'm a man's man, then I'm doing my job. Okay. If I'm on some boy or some other stuff, you know, I might not be doing my job. Okay. So I'm gonna write them dudes off. Okay. So we gonna just talk about men. But you want your woman to feel like, and this probably could be a good deal breaker as well. But you said, if I'm doing everything I need to do and I'm holding it down and we working like pistons, we're running the car, you know what I mean? We working and we fall on hard times, or I fall on hard times. And now I'm complaining, or you not supporting me, or you're not willing to step up, or like, we want men, we not gonna never ask a woman for nothing. But if it ever get crucial, we want our woman to step up and say, look, I got 10,000 in the bank, I got 5, this is all I got. But I believe in you this much. Because when a woman believe in you and this is your baby, that makes you feel like you untouchable, like you can do whatever. Because you're like, my boo believe in me, you know what I mean? My boo believe in me, like I'm good. Because all that matter is what we trying to do. Not compared to Jay-Z and Beyonce or 50 this person. We like, damn, we need more bread. No, whatever we created in our own personal world, if I fall on hard times, man, whatever I lack, you right over my shoulder. You my pickup. I should have to call Mike, Gary, Larry, and that niggas shoot me down. Oh, I got these problems. I can't do it. I got you. And that's what makes a dude feel even more special. Seeking niggas who, you know what? when the chips was down, when ain't nobody else had my back, when I threw out that fishing line and it sat there and this one person came and pulled it, or when I was in the water with my hand out and I was drowning and nobody grabbed me, a bunch of people I see them walking by, but that one person pulled me up. This is the person that I know is loyal enough to deserve my loyalty and my love. Because loyalty might always come before love. Loyalty in some ways more important than love. You can love me, but you could be going and messing with a dude behind my back. But you love me, so you ain't gonna leave me. But you looking for something in him. But if you're loyal to me, you're not gonna cross me. I don't care what I'm going through. I know you're not gonna cross me. You got me. And just like you, just like women, men want to be had. Like I know my baby got me.
Absolutely.
That's a big thing.
Yes.
So when he recognized that, oh, this little thing happened, or that she ain't really got my back. I don't know how far I can trust her. Yeah. Maybe she trying to use me. So that's the thing that kind of like is real important, because if a man so just in a, you know, if a guy feel like the person don't got his back and she not really there for him, then he not gonna really want to be with her ultimately.
Absolutely.
And support. When you don't feel supported, it's like, wow, that support is definitely big. When you ain't got that, it ain't really nothing going on for real.
Yeah, nothing at all. Yeah, I like that. I mean, at the end of the day, I just feel like everybody got to know what's for them. You know, you got to know yourself first. And I think that's what's important. A lot of people rush in and not really know who they are. Like, where are you going? You know what I mean? Like, you got to be going somewhere with yourself. You, like, really have to, you know, pull off their layers for yourself first. Like, so many people cannot, like, live and coexist in life without somebody beside them, right? Like, because I think it's extremely important for people to be single sometimes. Like, yeah, if you're in a relationship, by all means, being in a relationship, right? But once you get up out of something, take some damn time. Like, because you got to be learning what you want. Like, you know, you go into situations, you got this whole thing in your head, like, I want this. Then you get in a relationship, and it's like the total opposite. And you want to get a few things off their list, so you let, you know, feeling unfulfilled. So you need to go back to the drawing board. Like, so many people rush in. Some people cannot be by themselves. It's like ridiculous. It's like, damn, like, do you have to have somebody? Like, what about you?
And that's the sad piece of it all, because how do you know somebody better than you know yourself? They know this individual that they've been in a relationship probably for the past 5 years, and then they look around and they looking around lost once they depart ways, and they don't even know themselves. That's why it's important to be in tune with self, know self, really understand what you feeling, why you feeling the way that you feeling, what makes you tick, what's your dislikes, your wants, your needs, all that stuff. Because when you've been through some things, like I said, that makes you reevaluate some things and look at what you do want and what you don't want and what you're willing to put up with and willing to accept.
Absolutely, and everybody's their own individual. I guess we're a team, but you're your own individual at the end of the day. Because I got things I like to do, he got stuff I'm pretty sure he likes to do and things like that, and that's okay. That doesn't mean like, oh my God, he don't want to spend time with me, oh my God, she over there watching our show. Yes, because I like my space.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you got to know if your person like their space. And I'm okay with that. Yes, I grew up in a household, there was 6 of us, right? And that makes me want my space. You know, it's not because it was a little bit of us, it's too damn many of us. And as I got older, and you know, I left home at 19, and it was like, I love my damn space. I don't want to be back around a bunch of people in one household. You know what I mean? So like, you got to know your person, you got to know yourself, and yes, everybody's their own individual. Yes, we're a team, but you're your own man. I'm my own woman. You know what I mean? And we just, once we come together, we even better. Because because like you said, if you got one person that don't know who they are, where they going, you feeding off of me. And I'm trying to get my own damn ideas out there. I can't be helping. Well, what else is it that you need? Like, I can't do it all the time. Because I need you to be strong too. You could be weak in some instances and get me help in that area, but not in every area. You have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And that's just what it is, I mean, for me anyway.
I feel like what you're saying is a showcase of how majority of men is, not all men, but majority of men today. Women is getting so tired of carrying dudes that this how you, like what you, your whole statement was that, like, come on now, like what, I can only, you know, and you, and in my opinion, a woman should never feel like that. Like a man should never feel comfortable if he in a position where as though he's just doing nothing. You know what I mean? And he just like, well, I'm cool, I'm gonna sit on this couch and watch TV. No, for real, like,
I
no,
would be so pissed to come home like that would be.
How you gonna have a successful situation? Some, like you said, like one of y'all said earlier,
she
like
did.
some women like that. All right, yeah, he there, he home, somebody out of the room. Yeah, but as a man, and then you wonder why she talking to you any kind of way, yelling at you like you the kid.
No, I'm glad you said that because I'm big on this. I really feel like if I can't respect you, I'm not going to deal with you.
Nah.
You understand that? Because I know me, right? Like, I really have to respect you. Because if I don't respect you, I don't care what you're talking about. Like you said, I'm going to talk to you crazy. Like, you can't tell me nothing.
And now I'm looking at you like
you know what I mean? And that's like that's the turn off for me. Like, yeah, why I gotta talk to this man like this? I don't want to talk to him like that, but he's making me talk to him like that. Like, what's up with him?
And he's saying carrying a relationship. It's funny that you say that because a lot of women carry it emotionally and financially, so they carrying all of that baggage, like not just the financial piece, emotionally and everything else that's coming along with the relationship, and it's sad.
That's where the state of the people, and that's what's weird. And if this continue, then women gonna keep ramping up. So when a good dude that's on man time meet a woman that's probably a good woman, but she got all this stuff on her back, and she coming into it with the assumption that let me be prepared because this might end up being like that was, and I'm gonna have to do this and do that. And she gets so used to doing so much. When the dude like, hey, step back, I got it. You like, you don't know how to take it. Like, it's you, like, it's you, I don't know, I'm gonna just do it. And you know what I mean? And it become a thing that end up causing like tension or like stress in the relationship that you trying to build. You know what I'm saying? So you said too a little earlier, like coming into something, not these words, but basically you were saying being able to come into a new relationship, not with an open mind. Judging this new person off, whatever y'all gonna go through going forward, opposed to saying, you know what, I feel like this guy's today, or going back to what I'm saying, all men are like, I'm about to have to deal with this, that, and the other. I don't know if he emotional. And sometimes I feel like that prevent women from being able to get a good guy. Or give a guy enough chance to show who he really is, because let's say this guy got reservations. And in the beginning, he holding back, like, I don't really know if I want to give all this to her. And she holding back, and now it's like, no, he ain't the one. But in all actuality, if they would have broke that down, maybe they would have clicked.
And sometimes it be unresolved issues, you know, and then it spills over into the new relationship too, you know. So some people don't know how to hit their reset and really trust the process and take it for what it is based off of what they've been through. They're like, oh no, I ain't even trying to go down that road again. So they basically preparing themselves, you know, like preparing it before it go down. Like, I'm gonna be prepared. Like, more so got the guard up. But then once it start working, then you begin to be able to kind of let it down. Once you know that is the person for you. I mean, it all depends.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. Like really honestly, like, what advice would you give to women when it comes down to like, I don't know, like being open to dealing with men, like, because it, like you said, so often now, especially now, it's like women feel like they gotta carry it all, right? Like they feel like that. I mean, I don't feel like that, but I'm just saying, women feel like that, because I see it on a daily basis. Like, so many women is just like ready, willing, and like jumping in with their capes on, you know, take care of everything. But like, what kind of advice would you give to a woman when dealing with, I guess you could say, a man's man, because don't nobody want to deal with no damn, you know, little boys that's looking to leech off of a woman and all of that. But when they dealing with a man, what's that advice that you would give to a woman that you don't think that we know or we should know?
First, I would say, know what you want, right? Because in order to recognize, because he could be a man, but he don't have the things that you want. So first, you have to recognize, okay, is this the guy, the type of guy? Do he have those characteristics that I like? That's number one. Then if you get to talk, y'all somehow connecting, y'all talking, do we have good enough conversation flow? Like, some people are conversators, and some people really don't say much and rather just listen, and some, you know what I mean? So you like a dude that's going to be able to mentally build with you.
Absolutely.
So you need that. So when you going into a situation, you got to know that you got a dude that's going to be able to deal with you physically, handle you in all type of physical ways, and also handle you mentally. You know what I'm saying? And then also understand why you feel how you feel. like you were saying, like I just feel like I gotta do so much and I'm gonna be on point. So you gotta get a dude who understand that about you and explain that. Because I feel like a lot of people don't put truth on the table. If you say, look, this is what I'm looking for, this how I am, this the type of person I'm not trying to hit you, because you know people like I don't want to be. Don't give him too much, but no, this your life. You know what I mean? When you older, it's different. Like you don't got 2-3 years to waste, or a baby to waste, and all this extra stuff. So you gotta really be like, look, this is what I'm on right here. And I feel like when it comes to allowing, once you recognize those traits in that man, you know a man's man when you see him. Being able to just say, all right, I'm not losing nothing as a woman. I'm not losing. I'm not being weak. I'm not being corny. I'm not being old school and old fashioned. I'm not being Wilma Flintstone if I step back.
Not Wilma.
And allow my man to be a man.
Yeah.
Let me see how. Let me play I got it. And this, I feel like this make a woman even more better. Like I got him if he slipped, but let me just sit back and see how he handle this, and let him drive the car and know that. All right, if I know that, because some women ain't as strong as others. So if I know that he got it, then I can sit back and kick my feet up.
Please don't want to kick my feet up.
But if he don't got it, now I know I gotta say, oh, let me challenge him. No, maybe you should do this. Look, maybe you should do that, boo. Maybe you should, you know what I mean? And then you get your input, but allow him to grow in that leading role, because some men have to grow into a leader, and some men are naturally leaders. You know what I mean? Then you got some dudes that's funky with their homies, and even though they the leader with their girl, they gotta learn how to not be a funk. Like they gotta. So it depends on what guy you get. It's like meeting a girl who, the one that everybody kind of clown. She might be not nice looking, but you meet her, and you're like, oh, she cool. But then you notice her characteristics, she kind of airheaded. So the rest of the girlfriends kind of, you know what I mean, clown on you. Like, damn, he airheaded. I'm like, girl was talking now. You're like,
you know what?
No, that's reality. Both ways, right?
Yes. Yes, it definitely goes both ways. That's funny. Absolutely. Good. Yeah. Because I just always kind of wondered, a lot of women, like I said, you the first guy on the couch. You know what I mean?
I enjoy it.
Like, seriously, and it's just like a lot of women just needs to know from a man's perspective. You know, we can only assume, right?
Right.
Especially if you're not dealing with a man on really on a personal level, and really can have those open conversations with him and things like that. But most women just assume that men are this way or that way, and it's like we tend to forget that men go through stuff too, right?
Right.
Like they've really been through stuff too. They don't only hold their stuff and they suppress it or whatever the case may be. It comes out in other ways, of course. But if you really sit back and look at a lot of men is broken and bruised too. Like they damaged too, but women is more emotional about it. Right. You got some men that's and I love a man to show emotion, but that really for me has to be please channel that a little bit for me, because you act like a little, I don't know what you act like.
Because some men don't regulate their emotions and know how to channel it properly.
Exactly. So it comes across a bit much, in some ways, but for the most part, I just feel like women gotta understand that men go through stuff too, and yes, we're not always the victims. My God, you know how many women that love to sit there and say, "Oh my God, you know what that man did to me."
Right.
Yeah, but did you allow that to happen to you? And even if they did do it, like did you stick and step? It'd just be so many different things to it. But again, like I said, my whole point of saying all this is that men go through stuff. Know who you're dealing with. Love them who love you. That's to me is more important. Like a lot of people be out there get one up on somebody, and it's like, why? If that person really got your best interest at heart, really down for you, what's your whole thing? Just love them who love you, and be open-minded to different things. And as a woman and man, I just feel like everybody should have their own step or building up to whatever it is that they want to do. Because like you said, if one falls, somebody got to pick it up somewhere.
Is this something all right, so y'all asked me the question, is it any things that women misunderstand or take the wrong way or look at men from a wrong perspective? What's the word you use? I'm sorry.
What, misconception?
Misconception.
Yes.
Is there any specific questions, right, that you guys have in regards to men relationship stuff? I know we ain't got probably a lot more time, but just to turn the curve just a little bit to say, because being the first man on the couch, and what I say ain't golden for all men, but I believe that I can at least speak for enough of us, all the conversations. And is there anything that kind of like pique your curiosity, you or either one or both, and say like, okay, I wondered with men, why men, or whatever in them regards. Why do men feel like this, or how do men really feel about women? Because sitting back is a bunch of different ways that a bunch of us kind of like commonly agree with, and some of us kind of got a little twist to it, the same but twist, and you know, for the most part. But we always wonder, how do women, like, what is women looking for? Because you know, sometimes women think that we supposed to just know stuff. Like, he's supposed to understand that. He's supposed to. We can't always read that. So it's things like that we be like, why is she mad? I didn't know. Like, I didn't. And then you wonder, like, but you knew, and like, you like, what up? I didn't know. And I feel like that's another misconception, that men supposed to just know what you going through, or what's on your mind, or what you wanted him to do, and what he should have just figured out and did. Like, and I feel like that's injustice to men. I feel like women need to be more vocal in saying, because some women, right? Like, for instance, real quick, a woman might say, "Oh, you don't spend time with me. You do this." But a man might got a job. You might be working 2 jobs, tired when you come home. Oh, you got them. I feel like that you starting to look at that as, oh, you don't spend time with me, you don't care about me, or you don't love me, or you don't want to be around me. No, maybe I'm building towards something. And if I was in the corner at the bar, hanging with my guys, at the pool table, at the dice game, at the juice, after this, after that, and you like, man, you don't do nothing with me. You got a hell of an argument. But if I'm working 2 jobs and I'm trying to do this, and the thing change a little bit, and I feel like all people or women don't comprehend that change. Like, all right, since you ain't doing this, even if you working 2 jobs, I still feel like you neglected me. Maybe you can do stuff when you can, or take a day off. But if we trying to build to something, then allow it to grow. And if we plan to be together for a lifetime, then we got time. Not saying don't do nothing. Just I got a plan. Wait. I'm saying that maybe you don't do as much as you might want.
But I think it's tied down to the individual, because a lot of women say that men don't know how to communicate, but a lot of women don't know how to communicate. They communicate in very childish ways, where men are not going to receive what's being said at the end of the day. So if you ranting and raving, because you don't do this and that, you have to speak substance. You have to really take your time and really express yourself in a way that a man can understand you, because you have some women that just go hooting and hollering, and a man's going to receive that as like, oh, she just nagging, she's just complaining and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of feel like it's tied to the individual at the end of the day, and the person that you're dealing with at the end of the day. But more so, some women, they don't know how to communicate. And yes, some men, they tend to internalize certain things, and it's kind of more so of the woman, in a sense of being able to take their time and being able to pull those things out based off how they communicate with their man. You got to know how to communicate with your man and be able to get those things out of them. So that's my take.
Yeah, my thing is this. I feel like if it's an issue, put it on the table, right? I don't know how to sit on nothing. I'm not even going to pretend. And my day, you're going to know I ain't dealing with you, because I'm going to vocalize that, right? I feel like a lot of people, it could be something going on and they don't even tell you. And I'm thinking we good and we going about our day, and you got a whole damn attitude for real. I ain't even know nothing even happened. We didn't kiss while you was upstairs doing that, and turn around now you mad. So I feel like people got to put that stuff on the table immediately. When you said that didn't make me feel, why didn't you say that to me like that? You know what I mean? Like, say it, speak up. And that's why I say that friendship piece is important. Because if we friends, then you know how I feel about stuff. Because I'm going to come to you, hey, I can't wait to talk. I'm going to tell them what happened with such and such and such and such. So you know my everyday move, you know how my outlook on things, not just as in us, but how I feel about my friendships, my job stuff, onto the kid, all of that, you're going to already know me and in and out. It's not going to be just on a relationship basis, right? So you want to understand how to deal with me. But a lot of women don't know the importance of friendship, neither do men. No. And then that's where a lot of stuff get misconstrued, because what people do, they don't have the friendship in their relationship. They go outside and get it, and you build with the opposite sex in that, and that's where you really then you look up years later, you're like, damn, I'm in love with my best friend, but it's not your significant other. It's your friend that you've been confiding in all this time. When that's something you're supposed to have with your significant other.
Then you slide over there and ain't what you thought it was. Now you feel like
you
lost everything.
Yeah, because y'all not dealing on the love basis. You my listening ear.
Question. Why do because I wanted to ask y'all when y'all struck a chord with the best friend joint.
Okay.
All right, I wanted to say like, what's y'all most irritated thing? Like, what's y'all whole thing about men that y'all feel like? But before I ask that, why is y'all first go-to is to go have sex with somebody when y'all get too emotional and let me go back to my old guy, let me go to my friend, or let me go to, I feel like that happens a lot. Might not be y'all.
Yeah,
that ain't my thing, so I wouldn't be able to
I wouldn't even lie and sit here and say,
I don't know.
No.
Because I feel like women get in they bag and go have sex. Like that's gonna make them feel better.
Because that's some emotional, like, if you don't know yourself, you don't know where the channel those emotions at, I guess that maybe make them feel better at the moment. You know
I even seen it on TV. That's when I said,
no.
This is
I
crazy.
see a lot of women do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to me, I feel like that's kind of sort of like okay, how can I say this? You know, men can have sex with women and it means nothing.
It's no emotional.
Right? There's no connection into that at all. But for me, as a woman, I feel like if you go out and you go ahead and get revenge sex or something, like, it's deeper than that. It's deeper for me than that. Like, it's like, why? I'm not, first of all, I don't want no diseases and like that. So I'm not running my ass out there to go sleep with nobody because I'm mad at my guy. Like, what, I don't understand that. That to me is that's childish, immature. You can't communicate. You know what I mean? Like, tell him he upset at you. Like, tell him why you mad at him. Like, go sleep with a man. First of all, he's not going to want to deal with you the way he once did. Men is different from women. Like, they look at you different.
Yeah, because you can't be my queen anymore.
Like, she a whore. She for the streets.
No matter how much dirt a dude do, his girl is his queen.
Exactly.
Until otherwise.
Exactly. So, you go sleep with another man, girl, you're done for. Even if he stick around a little bit more, but you know the other relationship has changed. So why do it? But I think that, and women know that probably crushing man. That's probably why they go that route.
Right.
I think that's probably why. Because there's no other reason to me when I think about it. Why would you go sleep with another man to make your man mad? That don't even make sense to me.
And
leave him alone. Leave him alone. That's what's going to hurt him. Leave his ass where he at.
Absolutely.
If you keep bringing it to him and he can't clean up what you ask him to clean up, walk away from the situation. Because then once he sit back and be thinking be at the bar playing that, that's what his friends, he'd get his little, whatever he doing, like, damn, man, I miss her. Like, yeah, why can't I just get it together for her? Like, that's going to make him want you, you know what I mean, even more, and regret that he didn't do what he was supposed to do with you. Not sleeping with no damn man. Anybody could go sleep with some damn body. Come on, man.
It's hard to find. It's so many women that outnumber men. It seems like it shouldn't be, but it's hard to find solid women. Like, especially now, even more than back in the day.
Yeah, you might be right.
And I ain't talking about solid meaning like because she got it going on, like financially. I ain't talking about, I'm saying solid that you be like, damn, like, she the one, like 5 divided by 4. Like, she all like, you know what I mean? Like she her, like, you know what I mean? Because one, I might feel like a girl is her, but he might not. So that's like a girl, you might like this particular guy, she might not. So it go like that. So for you, to each is his own, to each is his own.
Yeah.
So like you feel like that, but it's so hard because the way most women think, either they're so angry right now, or they so used to just doing everything that they just so guarded and overprotected, whatever. Like, it's just so much with women. So it's hard to like really genuinely. It's so messed up nowadays. It's hard to like crack it. Like, remember back in the day, a person might have a little sense of humor. He might tell a little, like, yeah, you just a little jokey, laughing a little bit. Now a person like, you like, nah, I'm sorry, I just was like a joke. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. But no, I mean that comes from a place of women being disappointed for so long. You know what I mean? Men really be hurting women, and I ain't even gonna hold you. Like,
what disappoint y'all though?
Like just not like that whole piece of like. The showing up, not being a man's man, not being able to come through when you're supposed to, right? Like, don't. So many men come in and pretend like they this, and this, right? And then when it's time to show up in that way, it's like, you lied. You know what I mean? Like, you thinking that I got this solid individual, and now that it's showtime, you ain't showing up, right? So that kind of stuff. Or and my biggest thing is I can't stand to confide in you, and they'll kind of minute like throw it back in your face, and it's like, sir, are you?
But now let me ask you this: what if? So what's throwing it back in your face? That's
like,
a good
no,
question.
no, seriously, like
if I say you do something and you repetitive and a mistake, and the person like, see, you make this mistake a lot because this is the problem. And you're like, well, you thought I shouldn't have never told you. You thought I feel like, no, I'm just letting you know that when you repetitively fall in the same track,
that's more so confiding in somebody and really talking about something deep rooted that you may have been through, and you have a male sit there later on and throw it in your face. As if
absolutely.
But what's considered throwing it in your face? Like I want to know that. I want to understand.
I can self-disclose that my daughter is 17, right?
All right, yeah.
Now, when I was in the marriage that I was in, he would be like, "You fucking baby at 17, you was a whore," stuff like that.
Yes.
Even down to the point that it was like, during that time I was in college and stuff like that. Oh, you fucking sitting there listening to that stupid ass professor and all that. This is be like, whoa, wait, hold on, what is happening here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially because you're not used to things like that. And it's like, whoa, pause a little bit, because now you just lost me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because at first I didn't even know you when I was 17. So how does that have anything to do with you? You know what I mean? Stuff like that is just
but
like.
dudes really be doing it, because I heard that before. Like a dude,
you
like,
gotta lie.
Like I don't really. Dudes hide that amongst each other.
Oh, yeah.
Like I took a picture with a guy, right? And the girl that I'm cool with since we was back in the day, I'm talking about never had. Like I got a lot of girlfriends, friends that we never had sex.
Yeah.
People think I did because just me. They know like, oh, you did that. But I'm like, no, for real.
He like, no.
But that's really my homie. And be like, no, I know you went to because I was a chick boy. Okay. But so. Damn, I lost my train of thought.
Oh no, you said that the girl seen the picture, and what she say?
Okay, boom. I'm sorry. So excuse me. I'm sorry about that, y'all. So I don't want to be seen crazy. But,
no. Go ahead.
So she said, you with him, and he got a friend who don't take care of his kids. I'm like, what? But I'm like, no. But what do he got to do with his friend? But he hang with him, and he know his friend ain't like. I'm saying, hold up. A lot of times, and it's the truth, a lot of times what goes on in the man's house, his friends don't know. Like, even though women might think that he not coming back talking about, yeah, I just beat the hell. It's some crazy dudes like that, don't get me wrong, it is but that's a small, like, that's not even 1%. Like, nigga ain't gonna come around talking about, yeah, I just kicked her in her mouth, punched her, beat her like a nigga. Ain't no, who the hell? You know what I mean? Like, you got, ain't nobody doing that. You find out you as shocked as the next person. Like, he be doing because
so they hide.
They hide.
Ain't nobody sitting around talking about how you beat up on women. Like, do that even make sense for a bunch of guys to be sitting around like, yeah, because I had to smack her and choke her up. Yeah, I did the same thing. I threw off the bed, do whatever stuff. That ain't no good conversation.
No, it's not. And then you look around shocked and confused and like, who really was beating her?
Until one day they can't control themselves and then you beat her up in front of your friend.
And that's the publicized joint, because we all know a crazy friend who publicized, like, got one of them rings, they pull up, right, jump out of the car, be arguing and acting fool. I ain't even talking about those because that's visible. Like, everybody know they be tripping. You know how we
those are the most scarious ones that hide, right?
Behind closed doors.
But his friends don't know. A lot of times, unless the girl cool with one of the friends and she tell one of them, because she like, you know how you might got that friend that you cool with his friend and you like, well, get him because he in here acting crazy, he beat me up. He might know, but he not going to go tell everybody else because that might be like a rule. He might be like, yo, he going to check him. But what can he do? At the end of the day, that's his friend. What I'm going to fight him or shoot him, get him locked up because he fighting his girlfriend? So a lot of times, I think that's another misunderstanding with women and men. Men don't condone enough, even if he know he wrong. Men don't condone another man beating on his wife because he got sisters, mom, maybe even daughters. Okay. He might just don't really know. And if they know, I'm gonna guarantee you this: if a dude know, he's gonna check him about it. He can't come in the house and say, yo, you better not do that no more. But he gonna tell him like, yo, you need to chill, you out of pocket, leave that girl alone. And it's just one of them burnt out dudes that's with that too. And like, you better do that. You gotta keep them in check. You have ignorant guys like that, but that's a small majority. It's mainly the majority of men. They like, oh, that ain't cool, yo. So they not gonna allow that to be. So sometimes I think women be thinking family, and I'm not saying sometimes family might know because they might be in the house and see it. But if family don't know, ain't nobody going back telling everybody they just beat their girl up or put their hands on their woman, or a woman they gonna, you know what I mean? So,
or let alone the person that's being abused might not be
even
in
tell
that space
family
to tell nobody that. That's something that a lot of people keep, swept under the rug. And more so, like you said, that guy might be trying to be putting on a facade to y'all and portraying to everybody like he's this big extravagant person, but behind closed doors, he's acting a complete a-hole. Like what?
And you can kind of tell, like I'm being around men for a lot of times, as they talk, you can kind of tell, like you can say, oh, he tripping, like, cause they'll get comfortable enough to let it out. You like, oh yeah,
he
like,
crazy as all hell.
We grind him up behind it like that. He one of them boys.
Don't invite him back, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he one of those
be around
boys.
that. Yeah. Wow, that's sad. No, I mean, yeah. Women probably do think that the friends know. You know what I mean? Like, cause you might be right about that. You would probably think, damn, how don't you know that your friend is this kind of person? But think about it. Like, how many people really want to show their hand? That's their fraud stuff, right? So of course, they want to conceal it until one day they lose it, and then now you see exactly who the hell. Like, this nigga. So now it make you question everything about this person, right? Because then you got to really dig deeper and be like, damn, if I thought that he was like this all this time, then who the hell am I really around, right? And that's how stuff show up and stuff where you get rated out on. You know what I mean? Like, then you start seeing, like, this dude ain't no good all the way around the board, right? And that's those type of people you cut ties with. I don't give a damn.
And I ain't talking about a dude who argue with his girl and they like shaking each other. Stop playing with me. Like, I ain't talking about.
No, I'm talking about men that beat down on women. Yes, exactly. Or just do foul stuff as a whole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, verbally, emotionally abusive and all that.
And that's why I judge people say this, like,
they gotta hear him on the phone or something.
Yeah, people always say to me, and I be like, no, like, even with females, and I be like, no. They like, oh, she ain't doing that to you. And I'm judging her by how she handle everybody else. I'm exempt right now because I don't see what's going on.
Right.
But if I see you handling people that really care about you in these ways, it's only a matter of time if I'm up on the chopping board. Right? People like, well, if they ain't doing that to you, I don't give a damn, it ain't my turn yet. Okay? So I'm going to look at you exactly how you doing everybody else. And that's just what it is, because if you go ahead and you continue to allow those kind of behaviors around you, you're going to get burnt eventually. You definitely going to get burnt. That's how a lot of street guys get caught up and say, oh, that's my right hand man, that's my homie. And then you turn around and you go down, and then now y'all don't understand. And he's singing like that, canary, and then your whole, life is down the drain. You know what I mean? Because you didn't hang with this person every day. You thought he was this my guy. Like, he'll take a bullet for me. Like, we get bread together, like bitches together. You let something go down, and you missing those red flags. Like, you got to pay attention to somebody. Like,
sometimes, and you know what? And they go back to they say, you never know who a person is till they challenge. Like, say you're in a relationship with a person, y'all never been through nothing serious. So he seemed like he always gonna be on point. And that one time come boom, and now you're like, oh snap.
That's why I said you gotta see him get mad. You gotta see him in different spaces, because they really show who this person is. You're like, damn, hold on, who the hell is this? Like, I don't know this person. You gotta see him stressed. You gotta see him up. You have to, because then you'll be like, here you go. Now I know how to deal with you, or I can't deal with you. I don't know if like that. But again, you have to be able to see people. And everybody always say, I like the rain. I want to see what's going to go on for real with us. Like, I don't need all this. I love the sunshine, but I need a few storms with you. Let's see how we're going to weather this thing together, because all I know how to do is be in survival mode. So I want to make sure if stuff go another way, then what's beside me? Like, we're gonna ride this joint out together. Or you up and running up out this joint, and I'm here sticking in the damn rain, looking for a life raft, and ain't nobody throwing that joint to me. You know what I mean? So, like, no, everything can't be rainbows and peaches and cream over here for me. I need my storms to come. I'd rather the storms first before all of the sunshine and the rain, because then once we go through stuff, like, I swear to God, they bring you closer. The more you go through with somebody, and that's meant to break you, it really brings the relationship even closer. And that's just what it is for me. Listen, I know we've been on here running our mouths. I don't even know what put we get into it, because we had our first guy on the couch, the neighborhood wise man. And we really appreciate you coming on. Like, really, I love your perspective. Like, I can't wait for everybody to hear it. And just, finally get to see how a man, view things. And I know it's much more stuff we could have touched on. We might in the future. Don't be surprised if you guys see him back on this couch again. This is Nash signing off.
This is Ash signing off.
This is the Neighborhood Wise Man. You can find me at Neighborhood Wise Man _Wise Man 41.
Yes, go follow his. He has his own podcast as well. So make sure y'all go follow that. Thank you.
Thank you.